Justin Gatlin is the latest in a long line of sprint sensations to emerge from the USA.
Gatlin got a good start. Look at this man coming through now. Gatlin. What a fantastic performance from Gatlin. It's all about Gatlin.
Ultimate goal is to be one of the best sprinters in history.
What a fantastic performance from Gatlin, and look at the time.
It's the American leading the Jamaican at the moment.
He knows he is the world champion.
Justin Gatlin is the world champion here in London.
What's up, guys? Appreciate you watching this episode of RSG, man. If you may not know, we have just started our Discord channel, man. If you want to be able to sit down with us, have some conversations, have some banter back and forth, come see us.
We have an active channel where you guys can talk with Justin and I regularly, and we have race predictions.
And occasionally on Sunday, you'll be able to speak to Rod and I personally, and also we'll have guests.
And when we drop any announcements or merch, that'll be the first place you can see it.
And we'll also have some lucky fans be able to ask some questions to our guests. So hit the link in the bio. What's going on? What's going on?
Oh, hang on a second.
Touch your screen, Justin, so it come back up.
My screen? I can't. What happened to it? Where my screen at? I can't see you either.
Yeah, I think.
Save. That's what it's. Yeah, dang, bro. What we gonna do? There we go.
Bring us in, bro.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Back with another episode of Ready, Set, Go. We in the building. We had a little technical difficulties, but we back at it, man. So bear with us. A couple cameras might shut off a little bit here and there, but we're going to keep it rolling for y'all because this was definitely an exciting Nationals, man. So we're going to keep it going regardless, man. But y'all know who I roll with, man. It is the bearded wonder himself, Rodney Green in the building, man. What's going on, baby?
Man, what's happening, man? We had a very exciting trials, man. We are thankful for everybody being there in our chat, man. Joining us on our live. We just starting to get this live thing under control, so just bear with us if we have some technical difficulties. With that being said, man, you owe me my 10%. We're going to start with the men's 400, boy. Now, for the chat, who wasn't listening, me and Justin made another bet. If you want to keep our tallies in bet, Justin right now is 0-2. First bet, he had to put on the Jamaican jersey. He wore it well. Second bet, he bet me that Ja'Cory Patterson was not going to be the guy at the U.S. trial. Ja'Cory ended up being the guy, and Justin has to run a film 400 meters and post it in our Discord.
Listen, you know what? Every time I lose the bet, I learn information after the fact, bro. So when I lost the bet with World Home and Mondo, I didn't realize Mondo ran 100 meters in high school, right? And now I didn't realize Ja'Cory Patterson was being coached by Elaine Francique. So if I knew that, I would have never took that bet. I think you be getting me, bro. So now, chat, his 10% is I have to go and run a 400 meters and I have to film it. So that's my 10%, y'all, which is crazy, man. I thought I was going to win, bro.
If you want to see it, I see a lot of people in the chat say they would love to see it. If you want to see it, we're going to post it in our Discord. So if you're not a member in our Discord, please go join our Discord, be a member, and you will definitely see that 400. And you guys could critique it and everything. Go ahead, give them some.
I don't know, man. Our Discord is kind of savage, man. Y'all gotta chill out, Discord, man. Y'all show some mercy to the boy, man, for sure. You know, I haven't ran 100 in a long time, let alone run a 400. But you know what? I'm gonna jump up to the task. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. So they already talking about. They're predicting time, talking about sub 50, sub 50 loading, boy. It is for sure. But hey, I want to say Ja'Cory Patterson, he handled business, man. He did his thing. Shouts out to him. Shouts out to Coach Francique. Y'all handle business, man.
The chat said you're going to try to break the women's world record. Chat said go out there and break the women's world record. If you go 47, boy, you need to come back.
If I go 47, I'm gonna try to go 47. Though, listen, I'm going balls to the wall in that last 100 meters. No Diddy.
Oh man, that's good to see, man. Shout out to Ja'Cory Patterson and everybody else who made the team, man. Speaking of that, man, our picks, the picks that we made, you know, we're going to go over our picks and how wrong or how right we were on our picks. I didn't pick Ja'Cory Patterson to win. I did pick him to make the team. I think where the bet got wrong is you didn't pick him to make the team. You made him, you placed him at 4th. I placed Christopher Bailey at 1, Ja'Cory Patterson at 2, and I think I picked the kid, Quincy Wilson at 3. So I was definitely wrong on 1. Ja'Cory Patterson was 1. Christopher Bailey was 2. And what's that kid's name who was 3? Can't remember his name right quick. Hold on one second. Chat. Hold on one quick, chat. Chat, help me out.
While you looking for yours, all I can say is sentiment got in my way, man. You know what I mean? I love seeing the dynamic of Quincy Wilson and also love seeing him interact with Vernon Norwood. So I was like, man, it'll be great to see these two guys do it. But when you do these kind of predictions, which I hate doing, chat, especially so far out before it's time to go and you see what they really show, it's just the fact of you got to go teeter towards people you know that either can get the job done or you're familiar with. So those were my picks. That's why I picked it.
Caleb McRae.
I knew better.
Caleb McRae. I want to give Caleb McRae his due justice, man. Shout out to him. I think this is his first world championship team, man. Listen, you beat some of the vets out there, man. He nipped Quincy right at the line. You know what I mean?
I knew better, but here I am, man. About to be standing at the 400-meter line.
Touch the screen, Josh.
Why your screen ain't going out? What are you doing? Your screen going out?
Every time it flicker, I just touch it.
Oh, okay.
So when it flick, you gotta touch it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
All right, man. Like I said, Caleb McRae. Let's shout him out. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Next, man, we had Dalilah. Dalilah. They say she gonna retire. I don't know if she should retire. If she retiring and she's going off on like one of her best runs ever. She's having a great season with a great average. And being that your last national championship, you're the national champion, that's like a dream, bro. That's like a dream. Who wouldn't want to go out on top? My last nationals, I go out as the national champion of the USA. Now,
I mean,
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
With that being said, the world champion at the at Worlds is in Sydney. She picked the 400, so that means, and I don't think she's the Diamond League champion either. So that means she will not be declaring for the 400-meter hurdles, which is allowing Dalilah a chance to take down Femke Ball and go out like real deal on top, bro. Because she would have achieved so much things on so many levels, the world record, gold medals, and as your last final race, you go out as a gold medalist in your event. Man, listen, you can't write a better story.
You can't write a better story, man. I mean, it's going to be a tall order for her for sure. I mean, she's looking great. She ran great, obviously, with her teammate next to her, Anna Cockrell, who also made the team. It was just like an intense practice for them. You can tell as they come off that hurdle off the turn, going into the straightaway. It was like they were battling to get to the finish line. But it was kind of like that easy battle. It wasn't that fight for your life kind of battle, you know? But she did an amazing job. Shouts out to Dalilah. Shouts out to all three of the ladies, Jasmine Jones as well. And man, to be able to go out like that is a fairy tale, bro. Like, you had to realize that not all athletes, especially in our sport, but other sports, get that fairy tale ending you're looking for. So for her to be able to win a national title her last year and then potentially go on to have an opportunity to win the world championship her last year, it would make you scratch your head a little bit. It would maybe be like, is it time for me to retire or not? Because I can definitely squeeze this rock and get a couple more, coins out of it and a couple more runs out of it. But at the same time, you realize like Dalilah's been running since 2013. You know what I mean? Like, you look at how long she's been in the game and then overcoming injuries that kind of had her out for the last couple of years and not being able to like compete at the right level she wants to, it can be definitely wearing on your mind. You know what I mean? So she might be like, look, this is me. I've come to grips with it. This is my last ride. I'm in my ride, one of my best rides.
Yeah. Definitely. Salutes to Dalilah. I'm so happy for her, man. Like, I couldn't be even more happy for her. Dalilah, I remember when we saw each other at Athlos, you told me you would do the show. This is going to be a great opportunity. You have a great story to tell, man. So hopefully soon in coming, we will have Dalilah Muhammad on the show, man. She doesn't do a lot of, she's been doing a lot of interviews lately, but she hasn't done us yet. So I remember asking her last year and she said she would love to do it. So I'm very happy to see her if she comes on the show. Next,
I got you. I got you, Darren Peters, man. I'm gonna make sure I get the body work before I go run this 4, man. Y'all gonna have me out here looking like I'm racing against Father Time. I ain't gonna do that now. Go ahead. What we got next, man?
We got your favorite event, man. Your favorite event. Talk about it. What's your favorite event, man? Tell the people.
You talking about the hurdles?
You know it. Women's 100-meter hurdles.
The women's 100-meter hurdles. Once again, chat, my top pick was not Miss Masai. Only for the simple because I didn't know where she was in her training from her injury that she had, right? So I was like, you got to navigate those 3 rounds at a high level. It might have been just safe for her to be able to say, I made this team. But in the champion form that she has, in the mindset she has, she went out there and handled business. She showed why she is the queen of the 100-meter hurdles right now. She did her thing, and she did it in grand fashion. So hats off to her. We'll never deny you ever again, even through injury. You do your thing, boo.
I ain't denied her. On my list, she was number 1. Hold on. She can't hear us while this is going on. Okay, hold on. I said, I ain't denied her. She was my number 1. I called this race exactly how it would go. I had Masai first, great start, RSG watch second, and I had Lele at third. I called this exactly how it was supposed to go. I should have went to Vegas on this one because I got this one 100% right.
You did, bro. You did.
I got that one right. She the queen though, man. Even though she was injured, and I seen her after injury, she said, "I'm gonna be all right." She said, "I got something for it." You know what I mean? She said, "I'm just coming back. I'm just happy to be running healthy." And she was just testing her legs, going back into some of those diamond leagues. And after you do that good run, and you don't feel anything, you be like, "Oh yeah, these girls in trouble because I'm gonna get back to it." And that's exactly what happened.
It did. Hey, Alex, Andrew, man, you are 100% right. I'm glad I'm not a betting man. I'll be that dude sitting at the craps table with his shirt loose. He just found out he gave away his whole check for the whole year, gambling wise. Yeah, that's me, bro. Gambling ain't my thing, so I'm gonna go with the sure bets next time, definitely.
Believe it or not, gambling is not my thing either. I just sometimes when I talk to some of the athletes and I watch their season, I just try to make an educated guess. Some of them are right, some of them are wrong based on what we see. You know? Next, we got the women's 400. Sydney dominating as usual. You know what I mean? I think I got the last two mixed up on this one. So I think I had Aleia and then Isabella, but I think it was Isabella then Aleia. So I call that one pretty all right too. But Sydney's getting closer and closer to that American record, man. What you think?
Man, look, for someone who has a mindset of a Sydney, she knows what she's doing. So for her, declaring for the 400 and not declaring for the 400 hurdles, he definitely had a couple of tricks up her sleeve that she was trying to make sure that she brought out. And as she showed a glimpse of it right now with that 48.90, man, and doing it in such a grand fashion that she's doing it and commanding the race, right? And when you look at her run now, she doesn't have that choppy cadence as if she's running between hurdles. She's all out sprinting now. She realizes, I got to move. I got to go. And especially going into world championships, if she's going to have to be able to go against the likes of Nasser and Paulino, and those two girls we know can sprint, I think Sydney can be able to go into that and mix it up with them and go out there and handle business. I like to see it. She's a championship athlete. We know that she can get the job done. And I love the fact that you get to see some of your favorite athletes mixing up and doing something different and being brave in their attempt. So I'm always going to root for that, man. So I hope Sydney goes out there and handles business. She did an amazing job at this national championship.
I think what a lot of people is going to earn, what this is going to earn for Sydney is a lot of respect, right? Because in the 400 meters, I think a lot of people, like you say it all the time, she's broken the 400 meters because she's ran so fast, right? So many times. She put herself in a position to be challenged. She knows she's the world's not number one in the 400 meter hurdles. She knows she has a lot more competition. I think somebody who you forgot about was Kazimak from Poland. You know what I mean? She actually has the power to go 48 also. I think she ran 48 in the Olympics. So first, second, and third was 48. So for Sydney to win, going into Worlds, man, that like you always say, will be a tall order, but people do want to see the rematch of her and Paulino. But we can't leave Miss Nassar out of that equation because we all know she is a high-level competitor when it's time also.
Oh, for sure, bro. For sure. Definitely. It's going to be exciting 400. And we haven't had, I ain't going to say we haven't had because, damn, the last couple of years, the 400 actually has been truly exciting. All the way back from Allison to Shanae up to this point with Nasser, now Paulino, now Sydney. Like, listen, the women's 400, low-key, has just been giving and giving and giving for the last couple of years. So I think, you know what I mean, we're going to be spoiled if it ever comes a drought. We're going to be definitely spoiled because we've had great champions who've dominated in this field for the last decade for sure.
Well, you know, it's 40 days. So I want to let you know, man, Shanae Miller did open up her season at our national trials in the Bahamas.
Oh, yeah? You come with the breaking news?
Yeah, she did open up our trial. She ran 50 low. And that was her first race of the year. So she has 40 days to shave off about 2 seconds. I'm rooting for her. So,
hey, she's coming back, man. She's coming back bit by bit, man. Hey, that is going to be crazy, bro, to throw Shanae into the mix with a Sydney, a Nasser, a Paulino. Oh, man. I don't know 100 hurdle women. I don't know, 400 men and women might be my favorite coming up soon, man. That's going to be crazy to watch.
Listen, this is going to be Worlds. This is going to be possibly one of the best. Well, if everybody could hold form or get a little bit faster or peak a little bit more, this is probably going to be the best world championships in a minute. We might see a lot of championship records fall. I don't know about world records, but we might see championship records fall. But I definitely think the women's hurdles world record is going to fall. I definitely think that's going to happen.
The women's what?
The women's 100 hurdles. Yeah, I think that world record is going to go.
Okay, I spaced out for a second. I didn't hear the hurdles part of the end. I heard it with the women's 100. I was like, oh boy, you crazy. That's cool.
True. Well, speaking of the women's 100, we was going to speak of that next, man. I did not see, and my apologies to Melissa Jefferson Wooden. I did not see her like winning the double and that grand fashion. I had her all day for the 100, but for the 200, I didn't have her. I was kind of questionable on what she could bring, but I mean, after Philly Grand Slam and what we seen her do in that Philly Grand Slam, I probably should have put a little bit of respect on her name and her showing what she could do. Somebody who shocked me in the women's 100, Kayla White. Kayla White, I didn't want to give you your due flowers and shout you out. You know what I mean? I want to shout you out and say, man, you've done a wonderful job, man. Dennis is doing a great job down there with Star Athletics in the Orlando area. So, shoot, with 1 and 2. And shouts out to Aleia
Hobbs.
Aleia Hobbs. I was going to say Aleia Butler. Aleia Hobbs, man. She sees us all the time and shows us love. Aleia, you told me you were going to do the show too. You better not forget about me, girl, if you watch it.
Well, Chad, I definitely can say that I won this bet. I definitely won. I should have bet you that she was going to be a double champion. I picked her in the 100 for the 1, and I picked her for the 200 as well. Listen, the number's a number, and you the number man, bro. You the number man. You run 1065. Listen, you run 1065. It's going to be damn near hard to beat you in the 200 meters if you disperse your energy and your speed the correct way. And we know she with Dennis Mitchell. Dennis know how to get the job done when it comes to that. She got out. She stayed out. She commanded and dominated the race in the 200, just like she did in the 100 meters, man. So at the end of the day, shout out to MJ. She handled business. She had a great national championship for sure, man. I was surprised. Go ahead.
So she had the best in years, man. Ain't nobody was able to pull off this double since Tori. So we haven't had a double champion in a long time in the USA since Tori. So this is crazy.
Listen, would you feel some type of way if you or Mackenzie or Brittany Brown, knowing that the time when it came up on the big screen, it was a 3-way tie for third place with 22-20, and Gabby went on to be on the team, but theoretically you all have the same time. I guess they broke it down to the thousands, right? So that's what we're looking at.
You're going to always feel some type of way in a situation like that, because in your head, everything is going to play in your mind. If I would have drove longer, if I would have dipped a little bit more, if I would have held my form, or even if they give it to Gabby because she's the gold medalist. But that's not true. The clock doesn't lie. You know what I mean? She came through probably by a shoulder, a T-shirt, or whatever it was. Same thing with Noah and Keishane. And they was like, oh, they robbed Keishane. No, they didn't. I mean, you can't really rob nobody. The cameras are there to kind of tell the truth. You know what I mean? But you would, when you lose by that, people rather not lose by that little. They rather lose by a landslide, because I'd rather know I didn't have a chance in hell than rather to know I lost by this little much. But I sent encouraging words to some of those people, man. And sometimes being delayed is not being denied. You know, we see things like this all the time that happen, and this just builds you to be stronger and to come back better.
Listen, all I can say to you right now is the fact of, if it was me in that situation, from a Gabby to a Brittany Brown to a Mackenzie Long, I would have been in my bed 3:00 in the morning, just watching the race over and over again. There'd just be the light in the room from my phone, and I'm looking at it like this, like trying to break it down, looking at it like, hold on, man, I think that I got my shin across the line before her, or my chest for sure. I definitely would have disputed it for sure, because it's way too close. And those ladies, shouts out to Mackenzie and shouts out to Brittany. I know that they were also going through injuries, like Gabby mentioned that she went through injuries, but we knew that Mackenzie and Brittany went through injuries and setbacks this season to get to where they are today. So I know that having that squeaker of a win by Gabby and that loss like that by that much, it can definitely it can hurt your heart way more than just being flat out beaten, bro. Just flat out beaten.
I think for Gabby, man, she just ran a very experienced race. She understands where she could claw her way back to going through that Achilles injury, and that is a serious injury. Like you can't. She said she took a week off. You know what I mean? Going into trials, which is very, very scary because I think the 200 was really a hotbed of competition for her. So I think, with her going into the trials, she ran very experienced, and she closed at the right time to really make it on that team. But I definitely can leave out, man. From lane 2 to make the team. A Navy battle, bro. From lane 2. Lane 2, bro. Lane 2 to make the team. Lane 2 shouldn't get you no real type of love, but she rolled that curve with all her might, and she walked her way onto that team. First team, I'm so proud of her. So proud of her and her coach, Joel Brown. You know what I mean? From the Ohio State. I just want to shout him out right here, man. Listen, man, I'm proud of him. She went back home to train to where she feel like where she needed to be. And it worked out for both of them in this fashion. So shout out to her Navy battle. She was undefeated all year, and this is the only place where she actually took an L. So shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to her, man, for sure. She's had a great season thus far. A lot of victories under her belt. Even when people wanted to question it and be like, "Oh, she really ain't raced against nobody." She did today.
She raced against everybody.
She went out there and raced against the top female athletes in the United States and some in the world as well. So she went out there, handled business, got her spot on the team. So she earned that right to be a legitimate elite athlete going into this championship and someone to look out for 100%. So shout out to her, man. Shout out to Coach Joel as well. He handled business. Man, to get lane 2 though, bro. Oh my God.
Lane 2.
Listen, lane 1. Listen, I don't even think they run lane 1 anymore, bro. If they run lane 1, boy, listen. That's diabolical on the part of the whole meet organization. Like, you can't have no grown-up running in lane 1 full speed and thinking that they're going to make the team, bro. But lane 2 is just as heartbreaking, boy. If I say I had lane 2 in the 200, I just go ahead and hang my head, man, and be like, man, how am I going to get this job done?
We both know somebody who won a medal out of lane 1 in Angelo Taylor.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Lane 1 in the 400-meter hurdles. That boy won a gold medal.
That was 400-meter hurdles, too. Can
So
you imagine jumping over the hurdles and you trying to make sure your spike doesn't clip on the little metal railing, dog? Can you imagine that at the Olympic finals? Like, you trying to win, and next thing you know, you come up that hurdle and you hear that little metal scratching metal sound. Nah, I couldn't even bear it, dog. That's crazy, man. Shout out to him, bro. He a beast for that one for sure.
Yeah, man, definitely. We had what you think about Grant going through? Yeah, it was 110 hurdles up next. What do you think about Grant going through the semis and then having a newcomer? Shoot, it was definitely a shocker for all of these hurdlers to come through. I think Dylan Baird, I think this is his first world team, and then I think I know for the freshman, the 19-year-old, this is his first. But Trey Cunningham, tough loss, man. What'd you think about that 110-meter race? And he did it out of lane 1.
Well, first of all, I want to talk about Grant. I was kind of thinking Grant was in the same boat as Masai, right? Like having an injury that you're trying to come back from, navigating yourself through nationals, knowing that you have a bye, and just seeing where you're at. Because that's what it looked like when you watch Grant. It was like Grant had a gear, but he didn't have the gear that we know Grant to have, right? So watching him go through those motions and then having someone like Cordell come run next to him and run off was an unreal situation that we're not used to seeing Grant in. So I think it also comes with patience. It also comes with time. Now he has 40 days? 40 days, 40-something days to get ready and get prepared, see where he's at, heal up properly, and then show the world what a defending world champion looks like. So time could be on his side in this situation. It's just it's a fact of humbling yourself, put the ego aside, knowing that you can get the job done. This might be one of his greatest victories. Not because of time, not because of dominance, because of just sure will to be able to build yourself back up while you're in season, watching these other guys run very similar times to what you run. You know what I mean? So shouts out to him, man. Get well soon, brother. Trey, man. Oh, man. That was a hard one because we watched Trey this whole season, all the way from Tom Jones, winning the first victory there of 1309, and then taking on the track world by storm. It was hard to see because we know that Trey has always been one of those kind of guys. If he had the right day and the right race, you couldn't question that he was not going to be on that team. And I think it's just one of those same situations that he just came up short. Why he came up short, I don't know. It looked to me that he floated the last two hurdles, maybe because the pressure was to race and not to hurdle. And those things kind of happen in that race, man. You realize the hurdles, man, it's not just a race, a foot race. You're racing against time. You're racing over barriers. So you're looking for perfection of some sort. And then now you're also racing 8 to 9 other individuals too. So that's a hard race to be able to go out there and try to be perfect in those situations. Dylan Beard, bro. Dog. I'm telling you right now, man, once he gets himself truly acclimated, he's going to be a hard dude to beat. A very hard dude to beat, man. When you watch him hurdle throughout the whole season, and he's not one of them kind of guys who's finicky and say, I only can hurdle in America. He's taking that show on the road around the world. He got the job done, man. He got the job done. So with Tinch ran 1285 this year, right? 1285 already this year.
87.
sorry, 1287 this year. So that shows you right there. He knows what he's doing. It's just about making sure he does it at the right time now. And the young man, Tharp.
Yeah, Tharp, man. Tharpedo,
boy.
That boy out there. That boy. But listen, I love the young boy energy, man. Them young boys, they come out beating their chest like gorillas.
Yeah, bro. It's a different era for sure. Like the young people in our era were always kind of like respecting and had a small ounce of like fear going against your idols or people that you've watched on television. Boy, this era do not give a damn. You hear me? Like if I got a uniform on and I got spikes and I get to that starting line, they giving everything, bro. So I've witnessed it myself. So I know that it is there. You can't say, oh, the rookies, they ain't gonna make the team because they're inexperienced and they probably are wowed by the stage that they're on now. A lot of these young guys now and ladies are hungry for that stage. They want to get to that stage. So you can't hold them back, man. And fear is not going to hold them back.
Listen, I just know the World Championships is going to be something that's hype, man. Like you said, like I think this is probably the most competitive the 110 hurdles have been in a while, since back in our time with David Olivers and Dayron Robles and Zhu Lang. What's his name?
Who that?
Lu Zhang. Lu Zhang, yeah. I was going to say his name backwards. Lu Zhang. Like, you have a lot of guys running 13-0 and subbing 12 seconds at this time, man. So for Grant to pull off a double, it's not that he can't. It's going to be very different for him. It's going to be very hard for him to be dominant. It probably is going to take something like a 12-8 to go ahead and win that doggone world championship. So
that's all I can say about that one. 12-8 on demand. That's on demand, bro. That's not even like by accident. That's on like I'm coming out here to run 12-8, dog.
Them boys just ran 13-01, 13-03, 13-08, bro. And that's just the US. We know we have other people around the world who can definitely run those times or sub 13 seconds. So, you know what I mean? We definitely gonna have a good show. Men's 100, man. We have somebody who just cracked under 980 for the first time, man, and our Kenny Bednarek.
Kenny Kung Fu Kenny, man.
Now, I think on my picks, I picked Kenny first. I was wrong on the other two. I was right on the first two. No, I was wrong on the second one. I had Kenny Bednarek, I had Trayvon, and then I had Courtney Lindsey. Courtney Lindsey was number 2. Shout out again to Dennis Mitchell. He had 1 and 2 in the 100-meter women, and he had 1 and 2 in the 100-meter men. I don't know another coach who's done that before at U.S. Nationals, but kudos to him. This man setting himself up to get Coach of the Year again. But man, Kenny executed a well-ran race, and he said he was cramping. Courtney Lindsey pulled through just like I thought he would. But Talars McCullum, listen, boy, I did not see that one coming. He shocked me. He shocked me after he PB'd in the 200 at in Memphis. I was like, yeah, his leg's gonna be tapped. I don't know if he's gonna be able to put out enough at U.S. trials, especially if they got 3 rounds. But that boy showed me wrong, man. Showed me wrong. What were your thoughts?
Oh man, the 100, bro. Oh man, I don't know. Listen, Kenny handled business. Obviously, we've seen Kenny through the Grand Slam this season. He's been working on his start. He told the world he's been working on his start. Also, you can see that he's been working on his range of motion. He has bigger arms going through that race. They're not kind of like tight and short, rotating like we used to see him. He's trying to create more velocity and more speed, and that's what helped get him to that 9.7, man, and him being comfortable running that time. You are going to cramp in situations like that because your body's never been pushed to that level before. So, yeah, you're going to come up cramping, sore. I guaranteed you that Kenny was definitely sore going into the next day or either the day after that, which would have put him at his first round of the 200, correct? So knowing that he had to navigate his body to where it had never been before and then had to come back to be able to do it again and go into the 200, which is crazy that I remember that we used to do this back in my era. Everyone was doubling back then, bro. Everyone was doubling. So that was the crazy part for sure. Man, Courtney, I'm glad that Courtney is getting his form together. He deserves to be having a fast 100-meter time, the fast time like of 9:82, because it just didn't make sense to me that he could run such a fast time of like a 19.7 and not be able to produce a fast time in the 100 meters like he has now. So I'm happy for him, man. He's definitely has been tried and true this season. He only ran 100. That's what you said earlier this season, right? Yeah, he only ran 100 before Nationals, and he ran that 2 months ago. Maybe 2, but that was months ago for the first one we were talking about for sure. So he's been running a lot more 200s. So for him to come out and be able to work on his tempo and speed himself up to get ready for this 100, that shows that he was poised to go out there and drop something big. Team Mars, baby. Go Vols. Go Vols, baby. Hey, he handled business. When he was at the Ed Murphy Classic and him and his boys over there running amok, them Vol boys were running amok, dropping times, making sweeps. Boy, you hear me? The look in T-Mar's eyes was like, I'm going to be that dude. Like, the time I ran today ain't no fluke. What I did here at Ed Murphy ain't no fluke. I'm about to show you what's about to happen at Nationals. And he's been very consistent through the rounds at Nationals for the 100 meters. And obviously, he showed what he was made of in the finals. So for him to go out there, go straight from college, having a full college season, and to be able to make this world championship team shows you the depth of talent that he has and that he was poised to go out there and do what he had to do. He rested his body at the right time, came back, sharpened up for the Ed Murphy, and went out there for the big dance at the Nationals. So go Vols, baby. Go Vols all day.
Listen, I got a few honorable mentions, man, in this whole running, man. Hey, I want to shout out to Lambo Lay, man. If you don't know who that is, that's Maurice Gleaton. That boy tied listen, he tied the United States high school record with 9:92, but he tied it running with the big dogs. You know what I mean? It's easy when you watch a kid run that at Junior Worlds or something like that. You know what I mean? That's a kid amongst their peers. This man did it amongst the big dogs, man. So I want to shout out to him. I would definitely say the U.S. Future of sprinting is in good hands with that young man. But hopefully that he stays with track because he plays football also.
So listen, we talking about the 100 meters. So you already know what the topic going to come up because they already talking about it. Devin Maddox already brought it up. what does this 4x1 going to look like now? You got the relay pool, you got your top 3. What is this relay pool going to look like real quick?
Now, I think the relay pool after, but shoot, you got pretty much the same dudes, but you got to put Noah in there. He's the world champion, right? So you know he's going to be on there. You talking about the final or the prelims? Because the prelims can look very different from the final. You know how y'all do. You know.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you have too many options, bro. You have too many options. You generate inconsistency. But all right, how about this? Give me your prelims and give me your finals. And if you have a reason why, then give me the reason why.
The prelim still gonna look like a super prelim, man. The prelim gonna look like this too. I'm gonna go Christian Coleman to Trayvon. You got to pick somebody who ain't running 100, right? So Christian Coleman, Trayvon. All right. Now the 100 will be over by then. So you have to leave out the dudes running the 200. So the 100 will be over. So you could put Christian Coleman to Trayvon to Courtney Lindsay. Shoot, to well, I don't know. That's tough, boy. Who else out there?
Anyway, I baited you with this one. With this one, bro, because I knew how tough this relay was going to be picked. Because now you're dealing with Kenny, who's potentially going to run. Let's just say second leg, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Traditionally, you used to have Coleman come out the hole, and then third leg you're probably going to put Courtney Lindsay, and then anchor, you're probably going to put Noah. That's probably what we would like. Well, I ain't going to say we, but what would probably work. Easy. But now you have a fresh Trayvon Bromell, who's already showed that he can run 9.8 as well multiple times. So he's ready to go out there and bang and be on this relay. He hasn't been on a relay in a minute. So for him to go out there, where would you have to put Trayvon? Because now he actually is above Coleman when it comes to the standings. He got 4th, Coleman got 5th. You know what I mean? So what is the argument going to be?
We know they don't do it by standings, though. They do it by experience and what they can bring to the table. So you know what that prelim going to look like? Let me look at the what's it called again? The finals. Shoot, somebody just said Maurice Gleaton put a U.S. flag up on his page. I don't. If that's the case, I don't know.
I mean, what else he got to do? He's going to go for experience for sure.
So that's the prelims right there. What I just said. So I said Coleman to Trayvon to Courtney Lindsay, because Courtney got 4th in the 200. So to Courtney Lindsay to Tamar's McCullum. Last leg. That's your prelim right there. That's the prelim.
Hold up. Say it again.
Christian Coleman, Trayvon Bromell, Courtney Lindsay to Tamar's McCullum.
So you're going to put Trayvon at second leg?
I mean, you could swap them. Either or. You could swap him and Tamar's either or. They both got high good top end.
This is for the prelims.
That's for the prelims.
Okay. Right.
Because everybody else running the 200. You got Noah running the 200. You got Kenny running the 200. So you can't insert them until after. You feel me?
So who's running anchor for Noah?
Tamar's.
Oh, Tamar's. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the prelim. That's the prelim right there.
That's a big combination change. All right, what you going to go with the finals?
In the final, you got. So who you got?
Legendary Jackson. We listen, bro. It's almost every time we have no business losing, but it is what it is. Go ahead.
In the final, both those dudes got to be inserted, man. They were too good, and they. Yeah, Kenny, they on the straightaways. Kenny and what's the name on the straightaways? Kenny and Noah, straightaways. You're going to use Noah for insurance on that last leg, and then you're going to use Kenny on that back stretch. I go, shoot. It's hard to go against this because you know he coached both of them, right? So I know they could practice at their crib, but it ain't going to be somebody fly in. I'm going Christian. I'm going right back to Parrish, bro, but I think they're going to get it right this time. Christian to Kenny. I'm going back to that.
Okay, so because they're 1-1, so they did a good job at World Relays. Kenny showed his foot speed in that second leg, but then when they got to Paris, they had the bumble or the fumble, whatever you want to call it. So they 1-1.
So, and I feel like you can't even argue this. Just let them run the whole 3 that way, man. You go Coleman, because all them training the same camp. Coleman to Kenny to Courtney, and then just plug Noah.
I got you. So
that's what it
should
be. Because them boys
right,
can pack. They got 40 days. Dennis going to do, or possibly, this is what he's thinking. He'd be like, okay, Monday, Tuesday, blocks. On a little bit of Wednesdays, we do touches. Every Wednesday, we do touches until we get our behind there. And then they live right down the street. Noah could come there one day or something. I don't know. It's all workable. They train within 25 miles of each other.
So the issue that I think we have with Team USA, and listen to me, chat, is the fact that we don't have enough relay practice time. So these athletes aren't used to be able to take the stick or pass the stick to individuals that mentally they're used to competing against, right? So they got to drop a certain barrier of, let's say, conflict or competition and say, all right, this is my brother in arms now. We got to go out here and run, right? So my feeling is to make it more seamless and to make sure that it flows well, if you're Dennis Mitchell, you're going to say, I'm going to vote for my 3 guys to be able to go first, second, and third. That's Coleman, Kenny, Courtney. Because now, within those 40 days we have now, they can continuously work on those stick passes constantly at practice. I know this because this is something that we do, right? So this is what we've done before. Continuously work on those stick passes so they'll be seamless, so they'll be effortless. And whoever is going to run fourth, most likely is going to be Noah. You work on whoever that third leg is to connect with Noah. And that's what your finals is going to look like. Now, the plug and play exchange, when it comes to like relay practice, whatever it's going to do when they get to relay camp, and God help me, I hope they have a relay camp. Then that's when you kind of like play with the mixtures and you play with the synergy of like a Trayvon on a second leg or T-Mars running a third leg or vice versa, whatever you want to do. But you always have insurance to know exactly what your final leg or quartet looks like. That's what I see. To also answer the question of DRL in the group chat, he asked about relay IQ. And he said, is there such thing as relay IQ? Absolutely, there's such thing as relay IQ. I'll give you a perfect example of relay IQ is like when you put a piece of tape down, let's say at 26 steps, and then you're in that stance and the crowd's going crazy and you see an athlete starting to fly by you and you know that your guy isn't in first or you might be in first and you get excited and you leave early, right? What do? Are you going to keep running or are you going to say, you know what? I know I left early initially. My first 2 steps are pretty quick. He's going to have to catch me because it's going to be about a couple of steps in margins to be able to say, okay, he's not going to catch me for a couple of steps. What can I do? Slow those first couple of steps down, take your time, but still keep that momentum going. So by the time you get up and going, that stick's going to be right there like you never even left early. That's what a high IQ in relay looks like.
And we've seen this happen before. If you haven't seen it, you could go back to World Relays with the baton exchange between Kayla White and TT Terry. They handle that. And you got to remember that baton exchange is between anywhere from 0.7 to 1.5 seconds that's going to happen. They're making decisions that quickly in that space of time. So for somebody to do that or make that happen that quickly, that's a high IQ. Some people just be running and they don't even have, they could hear the other person in the other lane say stick and they throwing their hand back.
Yeah.
So it's just that crazy.
Because at the end of the day, it's so loud in that stadium, everybody, that you don't hear the incoming runner say stick. It's just the whole time. So what you're doing is you're trying to actually say, okay, count my steps subconsciously and know that I got to throw my hand back at a certain time. and you just keep that hand there. Another high IQ is understanding your teammates' mannerisms and habits. Like when I used to hand the stick off to Tyson, the coaches always would say over and over again, Tyson, move your hand down. Tyson, move it right here. I went over to Tyson one time and whispered to him and said, bro, keep your hand where it is, because in the heat of battle, you're not thinking about where you need to put your hand correctly. You're going to put it back. So you just can haul ass. That's all you're going to do. So I told him, wherever you put your hand out, naturally, you're going to continuously put your hand there anyway. So let me figure out where to put the stick at. You just handle business, put your hand back, and don't move that thing. And that's what he used to do. So that's why we made sure that we had better handoffs along the way, because I made him comfortable where he needed to be able to get the stick and get around that turn.
Yeah, that I definitely. I mean, and then you have some gifted sprinters, man, who always they could run bad all year. You put a baton in their hand, and their legs change. They go to flying like a mug, boy. So, yeah, man, we'll definitely see what that looks like at Worlds. But we know Jamaica got a good team too. But I know Jamaica was watching U.S. trials, and I know they thought once they put out all them times with their top 5, they was like, oh yeah, we got them. But after U.S. trials, hey, I don't know.
Appreciate it, Trish. Thank you.
And you know, Canada gonna have something to say about it too. How would they gonna say?
Oh, 100%, bro. 100%. We haven't seen Andre DeGrasse in a very long minute. So you already know he training and cooking up. Obviously, we call him Moose, but Jerome Blake is out there doing his thing. He's ran sub 10, and then now he's ran sub 20. So he's primed and ready. Yep, exactly. So we looking at a good, strong quartet that could be coming out of Canada once again. You know, they're going to make sure their sticks and handles are going to be flawless. Y'all realize, like, some teams come together and say, look, what's the likelihood of all of us winning an individual gold medal? Slim, right? But if we work together, we can get the job done, right? So that's why you have relay programs from Canada to Japan to China and to other people that's going to start doing this too. They're going to put all their energy into that relay program, so now they can come home with some kind of medal around their neck and be able to use that and say, this is why our federation is needed. We're bringing medals continuously each championship. Canada has a blueprint. So
I definitely want to shout out. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's joined us, all 822 people, 23, 24 that keeps jumping up and down. I want to thank you guys for joining us. I just want to say thank you in the middle of our live stream. We're new to this, so if you see us keep touching our screen, we're just new to this. We want to thank you guys.
For sure.
Jamaica's
will be ready. We already talked about Jamaica relay, so we already know that they're going to come and be ready. What we got next? We got the women's, right?
200. No, we got the 200.
Okay.
The men's 200.
We should do the women's relay first, boy.
All right, let's go ahead to the. Well, we're going to get to 2 more things before we get to that 200, all right? So, because I got something else I want to get to before we get to that 200. But anyway.
You lead the way. Go ahead.
No. You said they want to know about the female 4x1?
Well, I'm saying that if we're going to do the women's 100 meters and how it laid out, we also got to do what we think the picks are for order. You know what I mean? Like how we just did the men's 100 meters. That's what I was saying.
Once again, it's Dennis Mitchell's world. It's Dennis Mitchell's world. He didn't got what? TT got 4th? I think TT got 4th.
TT got 4th.
Oh, yeah.
Kayla White, who's under him, has got 2nd. Obviously, Melissa Wooden has definitely got 1st.
Okay, so if this is what we going to do, right? You know what I mean? I don't know. They ain't risking nobody with no injuries on no 4x1. They going out there to win the gold medal. That's what they want to do. If it was me, because you can practice the real 4x1 down there at Star Athletics all day, right? You got 4 women that can do it. I'm going Kayla White out the hole. I'm going with good old TT down that backstretch. She ain't gonna never do me wrong on that backstretch. Good old TT. I'm going with MJ Dub on that curve, and then I'm going with Miss Richardson on the last leg. You can't lose with that. And they can practice handoffs all day. They all from the same camp.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all, bro. That means that team is going to be practicing their order and combination consistently for the next 40 days for sure. So I'm not mad at that at all. Consistency is going to be the key for the relay.
And listen, I don't even think this was a mistake, bro. I think this was one of Dennis's things where he wanted to happen. He wanted to have 4 women, 4 men to where he could make this happen. And it's happening. It's happening. He had 3 girls that was on the squad last time. This time he could possibly get 4. You know what I mean?
I mean, let's do this, right? It's a possibility he can get 4, and a lot of politics go into relays. So that's why I want to kind of talk about examples of politics and examples of you've earned the right? So if you're an athlete who you've made the relay team, right? Outright, you're first, second, or third, and then you're part of the relay pool, right? But then you're an athlete who got put out in the semis, but you're a training partner of the athlete who either won the whole thing. And now usually what happens is you'll have a coach or an agent kind of tug on the ear of a relay coach like, hey, man, if you can get such and such, I know they went out in the semi, they just had a bad run. We trying to get them in the relay pool, man. You could pick anybody because that's the rules now. You could pick anybody at the track meet now who's competed. So that's where a lot of these head scratching situations come from. Now, an example of earning it outright. Now we watch Kayla White at nationals. A lot of people didn't see Kayla White fly under the radar this whole season, right? She's been running 11.0s and then obviously getting ready for nationals, prepped herself very well with Dennis, and then they went out there and ran a 10.8. Kayla got second place. She deserves to be on that relay. Obviously, MJ got first, and then Aleia Hobbs got third. She deserved to be on that relay too. This is where the conundrum comes in. Now you have someone like TT Terry who got fourth, but TT has experience over almost all the ladies on that relay because not only has she been on multiple relays, she's held off the women Jamaican team who were gunning for that spot to win. She held them off to get the victory for Team USA. That shows that she has poise. That shows that she's ready to go out there and compete at a high level, and she's always going to get the job done for the relay team. That's hard to keep someone like that who's seasoned off the team as well because you need experience in those kind of situations too.
And she could run any leg. You could put her first, second, third, or fourth. She done them all. Yeah. You could trust her anywhere. And that type of trust, you want that as a coach. You want somebody who you can trust. She's a great team player. She has great energy. You want that around your relay. I just must say.
Listen, 110%, 110%. I think that what you're going to do is you have to sub out Melissa, because at the end of the day, what happens is Melissa's on double duty, so she's gonna be taxed. So you want to have her for a finals.
So what's your prelim? Give you a lineup for your prelim.
That's a hard one, bro.
Melissa bro. We forgot. Anavia could roll too, bro. Anavia was on the world leading 4x1 earlier in the year, and we both know she could roll that curve too. But like you said, when you got too many options, that junk start looking crazy.
It can turn into a disaster, dog, for sure. I mean, between obviously Kayla is there for the 100 meters outright. You're gonna have to either get someone like Aleia Hobbs kind of coached up into that third leg position to keep it seamless, or put in a Navy battle to keep it seamless. You know what I'm saying? So you have someone who can run a turn very well, or either you have to coach someone like Aleia up to be able to run the turn and navigate the turn very well. I've never seen Aleia run the turn. That's just my opinion. Not saying that you can't, but it'll take a couple of times and practices to get it where it needs to be.
Listen, the best turn runners who I've seen as of right now in the last couple of years from the USA, man. Anavia Battle runs an amazing turn. I mean, she has from college all the way up to now. You go back and watch that 200-meter race, she ate that curve alive in lane 2. You know what I mean? Then you go back and watch her in that Diamond League. She's always the first off that turn. 2, Melissa Jefferson. She was first leg and 2022 World Championships. But watch her 200 also. She rolls that curve. That's why I got her at 3. You know what I mean? And Tamari Davis. Tamari Davis runs a really good curve also. She ran the first leg in Budapest. So, I mean, I'm just saying. They run really good turns. You could definitely see them eat up the stagger and put distance in between themselves and the person behind them. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Donnie, Trinidad. Shout out to Miss Lucy, Lois. Sorry for St. Lucia in the building, right? I think that's what it is. I saw it up on the screen a while ago. So shout out to them too for sure. We're going international on y'all.
Listen, to the chat, we're not kicking Gabby off. That's not what we're doing. We basically saying based on how they go through how they're gonna go through picking, what the safest choices are. You know, I mean, being that Gabby exposed that she was injured, they could possibly say, "Oh, we don't want to risk that." You know what I mean? We'll see how you feel, right? You could go with that, but I just say it's the safest bet because all of those people train in the same camp. You could kind of train all day and run that. That's what countries are doing. Countries, when they put their 4x1s together, they have training camps. But all of those people come together, no matter who they're coached with, for at least 2-3 weeks and work on baton exchanges. You wouldn't have to do that with that group.
So I want the chat to understand that, you know, when you talk about Jenna Prandini or Gabby, whoever else, you got to realize them picking who is on the relay is almost like being in court, bro. Like, seriously, like, unless you are just the outstanding favorite, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you're going to be on that relay. The other ones have to show and have to have a compelling argument of why you should be on that relay over another individual. That's what I was explaining with you have someone like a TT. You know, she got 4th, but a lot of people in this chat are putting TT in there because she's been tried and true. But the fact that you have someone above her like Aleia, those situations is going to come down to the fact of who has the best argument and who can say I should be on that relay, or my representation should tell them I should be on this relay and show them why. That's what it comes down to. So it's never like a you easy pick. It doesn't come down to like that. Relays are very complicated, especially in America. It's very complicated. It shouldn't be though, but it gets like that. I always thought that they should make an elite core. Like you have an elite group of athletes that they train on and off throughout the season, at least 2 to 3 times. And their federation pays for that. It can be at any kind of meet or local or something like that. And then they go out there and that's who they use because it comes down to synergy, bro. And it comes down to that for sure. What we got next, man? Did we even talk about the 100? Women's 100? We went straight into the relay, huh?
Yeah, we talked about the 100. We talked about the 100.
Okay.
Remember, I will shoot. I definitely want to shout out on. And Aleia, I want nothing against you. I just wanted to say like how it usually goes. But I wanted to shout out to Aleia, man. Her making that team, watching that interview, and her having so much emotions, man. That was very heart touching for me, man, because she started her year very late too, due to injuries. You know what I mean? And we know that she doesn't necessarily go through injuries quite often, but she doesn't announce it, man. But she's a certified dog, and I was touched by her interview, man. When she couldn't even get through it, bro. I don't know if you've seen it, but she couldn't even get through it. You know, when you're trying to talk and you just be like, "I'm gonna just thank God," because that's all you can say. You can't even Aleia Hobbs. You can't. She was trying to tell them why she's so grateful, but she couldn't even get through it, bro. She just was like, "I'm just so grateful, thank God." And they just had to end it there because every time she tried, she cried.
But it's you got to remember it's her track record. She's been so close to making the team individually, and she's always fell short. Or either for some reason, like remember that year where she false started, fell short. She cried herself off the track. You got to realize, like athletes in the same situation over and over again, you start to build a complex. You start to realize, like maybe this ain't for me. Maybe I'm gonna miss it again. So you start to kind of have that negative mindset that kind of creeps in the back of your head, especially in those high stressful situations, like when you're at the starting line and you hear the announcer say, "Run us to your mark." You hope that you get across that line into an area to where you are on the team individually and you can be able to make the relay. So shouts out to her, man. I know she was overwhelmed with emotions, And
Definitely.
it put her into a space to where she's very thankful. And I love that about track and field because you have so many athletes who try over and over and over again, and some of them don't get the job done. But those few athletes who get the job done are so grateful that she's one of them.
Shoot, another.
They
the
asked if I'm gonna run the
bro.
Masters. Oh yeah, let's talk about that, boy.
Men's 800 meters, man. Shoot, Donovan Brazier. Shoot, the world record holder under 18, Cooper Luthkenhaus. I hope I said your last name right, Cooper. And Bryce Hoppel. But listen, it wasn't outside nothing. This was the most exciting race to me. Watching that youngster, bro, at 16 years old, bro. 16 years old. This he made the team, bro. And what's so hard about making this team as an 800 meter runner for this kid is there's no relay pool for him to make it. If you're an 800 meter runner, you either go or you don't. You top 3 or you ain't. Ain't no mixing around. This ain't no knock at Quincy. But I'm saying is, if he got 4th, he just doesn't go. He just get another record, and that's that. And he just goes on with his life. But this young man ran 1:42:27. I know a lot of pro runners from our time who's never cracked 1:43, Justin. Who've never cracked 1:44. This dude is 16 years old, man, bro. What was your thought? And Donovan Brazier ain't had no coach at the beginning of the year. I know this personally because I was talking to Donovan in the beginning of the year. He did have somebody who was guiding him, but he had no physical coach. And what it is to go out to that track every day by yourself, do runs, trying to get back in shape to get to the place where he got was almost damn near impossible. Because you out the track alone, bro. You don't have to be there. You can just tell your coach, yeah, I did this and this lie, and then take your mind home. You know what I mean? So, Shoot, I just want to shout out to Donovan Brazier. He know about our conversations, man. Shout out to you. What was your thoughts on the race?
Hey, man, Donovan handled business, man. Like you said, to be able to come back from a deficit of 2019 to now, it shows that he has, and we know that he's navigated life between that time period. A lot has changed in his life. So watching him do so was like a breath of fresh air. Him splitting the 2 runners to be able to come to the front like that. I mean, and Hoppel's giving everything he got, bro. And he just runs right by him. That's that grit right there for that last 30, 40 meters. But the young boy, man, Lukenhaus, dog, he played. This is a perfect example of playing with house money. He's a high school kid. He's made it to the finals of the 800 meters. Now, not to mention, he's not a fluke at all. He's a great runner. But the fact is, dog, with about 40 to go, he just said, I'm going for it. And just turned on the jets. And he's just chopping everybody down. Pop, 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 pop. So to be able to get that time, man, can you imagine running 142 in high school? But can you imagine running 142 as an adult?
Bro,
I can't even imagine that, Derek.
If you ran 144 as an adult, it's impressive, bro. 142. Let's be clear. He is the world record holder under 18. He is the world record holder. So, you know what I mean? To me, that's a little bit more impressive than Quincy's 44:10, that 142. And I think somebody put a list up. They put a list up saying if they had a 16-year-old in every event like he just did. So if you were 16 and you was to compare yourself to Cooper, you would have to run 9.79. If you were 16 in the 200 meters, what would be comparable to be at that 142.27 would be 19.58. In the 400, at 16 years old, you would have to run 43.70. He is the 16-year-old that ran 142.27. In the 1500, you would have to run 328.63. And then the list goes on. But it's crazy. That just puts it in a perspective where you would have to be, or how impressive you would have to be at those marks, which is crazy. These kids are different. Man. They say trackflation is definitely real.
Listen, if this doesn't define trackflation, I don't know what does, bro. 142, boy. Can't wait to see what he does later on. Man, first of all, he should not go to college. If he decides to go to college, I'm sorry. I'm driving to wherever you live at. I heard you from Texas. And I'm going to knock on your door, and I'm going to go ahead and just gut check you. I'm like, ugh. Well, how dare you take your talent and get burnt out in college? You have shown the world you can bang with the best of them. Not just the best of them, but legendary best of them. 142 is a tall order. So I think that taking his talent beyond the collegiate realm and going straight into pros, having a good contract that saves, obviously, and helps nurture him on a mature level as an athlete, because obviously he's not used to going out and traveling across the ocean for 7, 8, 9, 10 hours and then competing at a high level. He's going to have to get used to those kind of things, you know? But hey, shouts out to him, man. That was mind blowing.
I agree with you. I think they you should get this kid a mentor, get him a mentor, and build a nucleus around him. He should not. I mean, he would go into college beating the collegiates already. He would already achieve what the collegiates wanted to achieve. None of the collegiates could have made this team right now, just now. He is 6th in the world right now. He is number 6 in the world. Do you hear me? Not in the U.S. His time is number 6 in the world. So, yeah, get you a good nucleus surrounding him to help him flourish. Put a college a clause in this thing to where they'll pay for college, and then let this man be a professional and start his career. I don't think he should go to college, but then these are just opinions. But that's what I think.
Facts, big facts. What we got next, man? What we got? What are they talking about on the board too?
They're talking about that. You Superman.
That's up. That's next on the roster. That's next to talk about. All right, y'all. I know y'all been ready, man. I hear your microwaves beeping, dog. Popcorn, get your popcorn ready, man. So
Reel him in. Lyles slightly ahead and looks over and says, "I'm still the world champion." And a little bit of a push there at the end as the rivalry comes into view.
He's still the man. And you better believe he's going to start as the favorite in Tokyo because he's only run 1988.
That man said he expect his apology. So what I can say from that, great run by all of the men. Shout out to Robert Gregory. Now I want to shout him out. He got 3rd. He pulled that one out the bag, man. He upsetted my little spin on what I thought was going to happen. I had Kenny 1st, Noah 2nd, and I had Courtney Lindsay 3rd. So Robert Gregory beat out Courtney Lindsay right at the line to snuff that 3rd spot. Coming through the line, man, Noah muscled that last 30 meters, man. Muscled that last 30 meters to walk them down into that world-leading time. The push, I feel like, Kenny could have avoided him and bent the corner. You know, you could bend the corner because you're not coming through with as much velocity as you are in 100. But I know how you feel when you get a stare down like that. He's watched that stare down happen to Arian, and he didn't like it. And because it happened to him, he feel like it was definitely unsportsmanlike and uncalled for. So I feel like the push was a reaction to that. Now, the talks after, there's something definitely personal going on between these two gentlemen. This wasn't just because of the push or because of racing. There's something off the track brewing between these two gentlemen. What's your thoughts, bro?
man, first of all, anybody that lines up with Noah in his races, 100 meters or 200 meters, and you know he's out to prove a point or win a medal, you know that he's gonna go out there and do what he do. He gonna talk, and then he gonna do his walk. And a part of that walk is gonna be like, gotcha, see ya, peace, it's me. He does all that, right? We've seen him. Let's look at the track record. It started in Shanghai in 2018 between him and Christian Coleman. Someone online said, "Hey, Noah, why were you leaning across the line looking, towards the inside? Were you looking at the clock?" And Noah respond was like, "What I need to look at the clock for?" So that tells you right there, he was looking at his opponent. He was out there to compete at a different level. He was out there to say, "I'm not here to run time. I'm here to show out that I can beat you." Then he went on to have his words with Fred. We've known that. We saw it on Sprint. We saw it live, and they had their talks back and forth. And then it went on to Arian as well. So We've seen that also on TV where they had their talks while they were doing their post interview on making the team. And so you know that Noah is this kind of athlete. If you are going to give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. If you're going to leave the lane open to get to the throne, he's going to run with it all the way to the throne. The only way to stop someone like that is you got to shut him up in that foot race. You got to be that guy who comes across the line first and you look at him crazy like he looked at Kenny. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think a lot of athletes in those situations, they get tired of it. They get tired of the jovial, the taunting, all these kind of things. And I think it kind of bubbled over for Kenny. And Kenny was like, I think Kenny meant to like push him out of the way, like kind of like, all right, move out my way like that. And it came to like a full-on extended arm push, like a linebacker, like, bah! You know, like it went from, hey, man, move out the way to, man, if you don't get your ass out of my way kind of situation. But you see how quickly that Kenny kind of like checked his own self. He realized within the push, and then Noah turned around like, hey, what's up? What we doing here? What's going on? Kenny was like, hey, I apologize. I didn't mean to come out and push you, but we got to talk later. And that's when Noah's like, I expect my apology. So that lets you know at the end of the day, there's something deeper than what it is that we see on the track. And I think a lot of people are taking sides and saying, Kenny, great job. Enough is enough for that sportsman conduct. And other people like, Noah, keep doing your thing. You winning. You know what I'm saying? You backing your back up. You backing it up and keep on doing what you're doing. So I think it's split right now, but I think there's a deeper story behind it that I think we need to know more about.
Look, like I said, man, this does two things for our sport, right? It got everybody talking about it. This will have memes going everywhere. Our sport needs something like this. As long as it don't come to physical blows, and we've seen it before with some of our distance runners, as long as it doesn't come to a physical altercation, this is what the sport needs more. We have these type of storylines, and I think these guys will definitely get it together. I'm saying in the split second, and I see some of the chat was like, I'm defending Kenny. I'm not defending Kenny. I'm saying in my head, in that split second with the stare down, Kenny is thinking it's unsportsmanlike conduct. I don't think it's unsportsmanlike conduct. The only way you stop Noah from doing something like that is to beat him. If you beat him, he can't stare at you. It's that simple. And I always said, I've always kept this narrative. If y'all don't want the antics out of Noah, just beat him. It's that simple. If you're not going to beat him, you're going to be watching the Noah show, in which we're watching right now.
So people are talking about, you lame for defending violence. Listen, bro.
No.
Listen, y'all, I understand that. Respectfully, y'all are spectators. You're not in those situations. You've never been in those situations. You don't know what it feels like coming across the line, and Kenny should have won. How many people voted that Kenny should have won that race? A lot of people voted that Kenny should have won that race. The numbers show that Kenny should have won that race. Kenny faltered. Been across that line, frustration sets in. Then on top of that, the embarrassment of getting taunted by an individual that just beat you, staring you down, basically little broing you and sunning you. You got to realize in them situations, your emotions are going to flare up. As soon as his emotions flared up, he kind of calmed it down because he knew that he was on television. He knew that he was live. So,
and he knew he was wrong.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So at the end of the day, bro, like people on the chat talking about, it's lame to be able to defend violence. I'm not defending violence at all. I'm just telling you that people act different in situations. In our era, that shit would have never flew. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't see Tyson pushing me. You wouldn't see Johan pushing Bolt. This kind of stuff would not happen in our era. One, because that's not how we roll. And then two, somebody would have been on a fight at the track, regardless of the situation. I'm sorry. Regardless of the situation. You'd have been watching a track meet, a 200-meter finals, and you would watch a quick MMA fight that would have happened right then. Because that's how it went down. Literally, NBC would have went to commercial. Peacock would have cut the feed, and the camera would start gliding to the audience, bro. Because that's the kind of situation. It's be high-pressure situations like that. Now, it takes practice. And it takes centering to be able to calm yourself like Kenny did in that situation. They obviously, when they went on to the camera and had their post interviews, clearly they still had words to say to each other, right? And they said, hey, we could talk about it off camera. So that lets you know right there, it's something more than just a run. There's something more than just a run. When Noah had his post interview talks, he said no comment. to all the questions that involved that altercation. No comment. So at the end of the day, and then when Kenny was doing his thing, Kenny was like, oh, it was about what he did, not what he said. It's about both, Kenny. We know that. It's about both. So the world wants to know at the end of the day, what was said, what happened, what was the reason for this, and respectively, say it in your own piece so we understand what it is. I think at the end of the day, regardless of the pushing and the physical altercations, that kind of grudge is needed for our sport. Show that you're frustrated. Show that you don't like him winning all the time. Show that you want to step up and you want to do better, bro. Because at the end of the day, there's people out there cheering for you who are just as frustrated as you are, but you're sitting there smiling on camera, holding your medal when we know deep down inside you didn't want that shit to happen.
And we see y'all in the chat saying what y'all think it was. We want to make sure if we ever publicate something like that, we have all the facts because we don't want to put any defamation or anything like that on anybody. You know, we are on a platform. So we can't say what you guys say. We can't say, there ain't nobody going to come after y'all. They'll come after us. So we have to be real, keep it real good on here. But to what y'all are saying, Kenny made a split-decision decision in a half a second. If somebody slapped you, 9 times out of 10, you're going to react back. I think that was a reaction of what happened. He came across the line. He saw it and he just reacted. And then once he caught his realization of what he did, he understand what he did. You know, somebody always call. Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro. I was going to say at the end of the day, let's for the ones I see in the group chat who kind of understand that it might be potentially a backstory and what it is, it's the fact of, yes, potentially there was a burner account that people are talking about, which is Track Spice. Potentially, they say allegedly that it was linked back to, let's say Kenny's camp, right?
Camp, yes.
So
Kenny's camp.
Let's say Kenny's camp. We ain't pointing fingers at any individual saying Kenny's camp. We still don't know that Kenny even knew that was going on because he might have been so more focused on getting ready to run, preparing yourself. We don't know that. But at the end of the day, we realize, and people who've seen Track Spice, they were talking a lot of mess about different athletes, you know what I'm saying, airing out stuff that shouldn't have been aired out the way it was done, facelessly. And when an investigator came along, allegedly, the story goes that they found and tracked it back to Claremont and to someone who in their camp, right? And from that situation, that's where a lot of the athletes, where you saw Gabby made certain comments on Twitter and certain people. And I think what happened was in this situation, and correct me if I'm wrong, like Noah's that kind of person, like if you hate me, you hate me. If you cool with me, you cool with me. But when a lot of stuff was talked probably about him through that Track Spice and then realized it got back to him and who was potentially or allegedly the culprit in this situation, it probably made him feel some type of way, which I think it would make anybody feel some type of way because you don't want nobody laughing in your face, smiling and kikiing, and then they talking shit behind your back. Come on, chat. We realize that. We know that, right? So I think when Noah went out there, he went out there with the intent of winning, of course, his national title and regaining it, but he also went out there to make a statement. And to come across that line with so much veracity that he had in his eyes and so much like intent of showing you that I'm beating you, that's, I think a lot of it came from that kind of situation. So allegedly, that's the story that's floating around. So that's what we're saying.
We've seen this before by people who wants to win so bad against one person. If you look at the win-loss column for Noah to Kenny, it's not even. Noah has a lot more wins against Kenny. So every time Kenny thinks it's about to be his time, he just misses it by a little bit. So that could be very frustrating because you don't want to feel like this person has their thumb on you. You know what I mean? And he thought his season was going so well. He's been undefeated and always. This is the only defeat he took this year at U.S. trials. He has, I guarantee he is so frustrated with himself. And he knows by the time World comes, he's going to be ready. I mean, he said it over and over. Noah had fresh legs. He ran 5 rounds. That's the reason why he lost. So in his head, he's definitely going to go with this. But this should show you like how much mentally intact you have to be in warfare when going against high-level competitors. You know what I mean? And Justin, you probably could talk more about that on that level, dealing with the high-level 1%ers in your career.
Yeah, 100%. Also, the comment that JH is saying in the chat talking about if I knew what the backstory is, allegedly, why am I blaming Lyles? I'm not blaming Lyles at all. In the situation, what did Lyles do that we've seen him done in the past? That's why I went down, you know what I'm saying, the path of he did this in 2018 all the way up to now. He done this, bro. Like, y'all not getting nothing new from Noah. It wasn't a shocker that he came across the line and did some kind of gesture. We've known that. And plenty of times here on our podcast, we say, hey, if you can talk the talk and walk the walk, then go ahead and do it. It takes an individual to go out there and beat you, to silence you. It is Noah's time because he came and got the first place. So the spotlight is on Noah. So how Noah reacts in that situation, be it that it is sportsmanlike conduct or not sportsmanlike conduct, that's a perspective of anybody here and anybody in the world that is viewing it like we are. And at the end of the day, listen, I like the showmanship that he puts on because he backs it up. And I've been saying that over and over again. So I'm not blaming Noah at all, bro. But at the end of the day, he used something that he felt that was emotionally charging for him, and he laid it on the track. That's how I see it. And that's the best way a champion does it. I'm not going to confront you. I'm not going to call your phone. I'm not going to see you downstairs in the lobby. I'm going to see you on the track. And when you see me, you're going to see my back. And that's how Noah handled it. And I think that's the most respectful way you can handle it. If you're an athlete, I'm going to show you why I'm an athlete. I'm going to show you I'm the best athlete. I'm going to show you reason why. So that's what it looks like.
Listen, we've seen Noah shoot at athletes with an air gun like this. We've seen Noah backflip on athletes. We've seen Noah charge up on athletes, talking to camera. Like, this is who Noah is. But he will keep growing unless somebody beats him. That's it. So it's just simple. Just beat him.
And at the end of the day, guess what? What Kenny said in his interview, he was right. It was the fact of, listen, they lined up. Noah had less races than him. He ran 5 races to get to that point, and he ran his heart out. So he feels at the end of the day, he feels that Noah's not better than him. If they ran the same amount of races and then they lined up, Kenny feels like he could beat him. He said Noah had fresher legs than him. And I get that. 5 to whatever Noah's 3. So he felt like that's what it was. He felt like, hey, I'm better than him. And he became frustrated in that situation. But once again, you watch an athlete like Kenny, he leveled up from last year. You watch his runs. He's not so much of just cycling anymore. He's actually opened his arms up a little bit more, and he's powering down the track. But the unfortunate situation is that Noah has gotten stronger as well. And you see that through that run, how Rod was saying, it's not just about frequency anymore or just top end speed. He's using power into the track and powering through that last 50 meters. So God help everybody after he goes through this cycle of loading from weights and everything like that in these 40 days, what's going to happen when it gets to world championship time? If they're running 19.6 right now, I guarantee you it's going to be something crazier than that later on if they stay on top of that same momentum.
Listen, somebody asked me today, they sent me a picture. They sent me 2 pictures. I wish I could show it on the my phone did. There was a picture of Noah doing the thing to Arian, and then a picture of him coming through the line with Kenny. There's like, you think he got these up in his house? I was like, bro.
In black and white, bro. Blowed up. In the movie room, bro.
Right. That's crazy. That's crazy. If it was me, I would put him up. No, I ain't gonna lie.
I'll burn your house down.
This is going to make for great content for them later. If we still around content creating, we could probably get a good sit down out of Noah and Kenny. And we could actually hear from them without the allegedly and rumored to be all of that stuff. You know what I mean?
This is a rare moment in our sport community. I'm letting y'all know right now. There's a lot of things that y'all don't see behind the scenes that happens, but this is going to be fuel for both of them going into world championships. This is exactly what we've been asking for. We don't want to just see the Noah show or the Kenny show. We want to see guys go out there and gunsling. We want to see a little bit of grit. We want to see a little bit of grudge. We want to know that you giving your 100% when you step up on that line because I want to be that guy. I want to win, but I also want to be that guy. And those are the kind of races that are always going to be epic. And at the end of it, whoever wins, we still as an audience are going to be satisfied because we know that they gave it their all. It's going to be a slugfest.
Yeah. Yeah. Another news, Noah will be competing against gold medalists. Our Olympic gold and world medalists will be competing against our Olympic silver medalist, Keishane, on August 16th. How do you think this run is going to fare out? This would be Noah's third 100 meters, and this would be Keishane's, I think, fifth 100 meters. But we all know Keishane already put 9.7 out there for a while, and he might be in a training block because we know he wants to do something very, very special at Worlds. Do I think Keishane could run 9.6? Yes, I do think Keishane could run 9.6. He sure enough looks so. How do I think Noah will beat him in this race? I don't know. Because I bet it on Kenny. I thought Kenny was going to beat Noah. It's hard betting against Noah. Every time I bet against Noah, I lose. So
Yeah, it's hard. It's definitely hard because you realize that Noah is a very fast individual. He's shown that, but he also is a gamer, bro. He's a gamer. He's going to step up to the plate. But at the same time, I think Keishane has had his fill of the Noah show. And to be able to come back and to be competing, which is going to give him a deja vu feel of Paris last year, and being nipped at the line and handed the silver instead of the gold. I hope that is going to be fuel for him when he steps on the track for this race right here to kind of give a warning shot. Pop, pop, pop. Like, listen, I'm not here to play with you. I'm here to show you that why I'm going to be the world champion in 100 meters, and this is a prelude. That's the energy I want to see from a Keishane right now. And right now, Noah is on the move. Like, he went to Monaco and pulled off a victory there. He went to nationals for the 200, pulled off a victory there. So he's on a trend to say, I'm going to beat all you guys going into the world championships. And that's what the trend is going to be. I'm going to try to beat you at the world championships. He's a headhunter now, bro.
You know what? I changed my mind. Right. First of all, I want to thank everybody for being. We was over 1,000-fold for just now, over 1,000 in our live. We appreciate everybody for being in there and watching. I like Keishane in the one-off. I like Noah throughout rounds. Noah does better with rounds. So I like Keishane in the one-off. I am iffy with Keishane with rounds. You see what I'm saying? But I like Keishane in this one-off. Keishane will do well.
I listen, I hear that 100% right now. Listen, in the chat, we got American flags, we got Jamaican flags going back and forth. All I know is I feel like the temperature is rising in this house right now. I'm trying to not sweat because this is going to be definitely a rift for sure. But once again, Greer West, ain't nobody downplaying Noah, man. Noah is a spectacular athlete, a great showman. For him to be able to come back after being gone for those many months, to power through Monaco, to go out there and run a great race at nationals and run 19.6 after running a 19.8 a couple of weeks before, that shows you his progression is real. No one's downplaying that at all, bro, especially how he powered through that last 20 meters. That is someone who has strong will. Now, when it comes to this 100 meters against Keishane, yeah, it's going to be tough because it's a one-off race, and we know that Noah uses the rounds to find his rhythm, to set up his race pattern, and then that's when he strikes. When I look at a Keishane does a great job at a one-off. So history shows that Keishane can get the job done through those one-offs. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna sit back and watch what's gonna happen, bro, on this one.
I like Keishane, but the funny thing is, even though I like Keishane, funny thing is this gives Noah and his coach good measurables of their opponents, so they can go back and we all know if anybody doesn't know Noah watches film. He watches film like a student. He is a student of the game. He has a very high IQ in track and field, and he studies his opponents. He has a good measurable on oblique. So don't believe he didn't watch that race on oblique and is trying to tweak what he lost and what he did. With this race, even if he loses, he would have a great measurable on how to work himself against Keishane, which are all good things going into the World Championships. Because at the end of the day, if he wins the world championships, we're not going to be sitting there talking about, oh yeah, remember when Keyshawn won in that race? Nobody going to care, because all that matters is the world championships, and that being the last race of the year. Oh yeah, you close out your season and you going on vacation.
Yeah.
So yeah, what it is, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate the chat. This has been a really good conversation, man. I mean, obviously, when it deals with Noah or Keyshawn topic, it's always going to be a controversial topic, man. This is, like I said, this is not a diss at any one of those great athletes. They've done an amazing job, you know what I'm saying, especially in the last couple of years. So we want to see both of them do so well, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, I see a lot of people predicting times of like 9.6, 9.72 dropping out there. A lot of hush fingers going up, talking about that's what it's going to look like coming across that line. This is going to lead up to a really good World Championships. August 16th, man. That's when they're racing, right? August 16th?
August 16th, yes. That's when the Diamond League is. 16th. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Worlds is at what, September 13th or the 21st?
Yep. So there's a lot of time, y'all. A lot can happen now in between, man, for sure. Listen, top 5 might be cracked, boy. Top five might be cracked.
They might kick you down a little bit, bro.
Man, look, you know what?
Yeah, man. You have anything else though, bro?
Nah, man, I'm good, man. I mean, we covered everything, man. The chat has been great. They've been giving their opinions back and forth, man. We love that. We love the fact that y'all giving your opinions. And we're going to keep it flowing, man, just that same way, man. So with that being said, bro, I'm good. We out.
What's up, guys? Appreciate you watching this episode of RSG, man. If you may not know, we have just started our Discord channel, man. If you want to be able to sit down with us, have some conversations, have some banter back and forth, come see us.
We have an active channel where you guys can talk with Justin and I regularly, and we have race predictions.
And occasionally on Sunday, you'll be able to speak to Rod and I personally, and also we'll have guests.
And when we drop any announcements or merch, that'll be the first place you can see it.
And we'll also have some lucky fans be able to ask some questions to our guests. So hit the link in the bio.